hey, we're more than a plastic strap. Just like you as a bisexual, you want to be seen as more. We're way more than a plastic strap, Mandii. See past the strap and the awkward moment of having to pull it up, make jokes while you're waiting.
This is Shana.
And Kris.
And we are Bad Queers. If you came out of the closet and got put in a box of stereotypes you don't belong to, then welcome to the Bad Queers Club.
All right. This week in Queer Urban Dictionary, I have abrosexual. Abrosexual, which you will hear this episode again. Abrosexual is having different levels of sexual or romantic attractions throughout your life. In a deeper dive, for example, a person who is abrosexual might be sexually attracted to men at one point, then not sexually attracted to anyone weeks later. Someone who is abrosexual may have periods of different intensities of attraction. So relatively new, but cool term.
Nice. I like it. Hey, another way to bring in the fluidity.
Yeah. It's like, it feels like a label that is no labels. It's just,
yes, you know, it's the label of labels.
Mm-hmm. The no label of labels.
The no label of labels. That's much better. I was like, wait a minute.
We worked that out live. We worked it out live. We got there. What you got?
Doing my best. My Queer Urban Dictionary word of the week is service top. Service top is a submissive top, someone who applies sensation or control to a bottom, but does so at that bottom's explicit instructions. We love to see it. We love the consent. My sentence is, last night my dream came true. I hooked up with a service top and they did everything I've ever wanted.
Everything.
Service top. All right. Well, this week we are very excited to have company. We have Mandii B from the Decisions podcast. Mandii B is a former tax accountant and is now a prominent voice in women's empowerment, sexual liberation, and body positivity. As co-host and creator of the WHOREible Decisions podcast, WHOREible, WHORE, she dives into pop culture, music, and business. She also hosts Period Sis, a podcast on reproductive health, and previously secured a 7-figure deal for See the Thing Is. Mandii has hosted the Revolt Summit, MTV's Date My Playlist, and owns Full Court Studios in Brooklyn, New York, and is the other official co-host of Decisions. You can follow her on Instagram at Full Court Pumps.
All right, we have such a special guest. We got company today. Welcome, Mandii. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank y'all for having me. I'm really excited to get into the shits with y'all.
I know. When we got this email, first off, we didn't believe it. It's very scammy season right now with things. But once we found out that this was real, we were so excited for you to come on. Weezy is here in spirit with us, but
she's in Europe in spirit.
Right. Europe in spirit in style.
She's overseas.
Just not. yeah. Listen, need to clean that up. But for the folks who don't know you, tell us about yourself and where you grew up.
Listen, the way I was about to say, don't make me seem like a celebrity, because whoever just read the description and was like, now I don't know who this is. I don't know why they guessed and this guessed like that. Anyways, I am one half of the Decisions podcast, formerly, which is where, if you're listening, you may know me from, is WHOREible Decisions, spelled WHORE. We've been podcasting for the last 8 years, which has been great. You may have seen me. I've hosted shows on MTV, Revolt. I have other podcasts. I ended another podcast. I've been podcasting a long time. So my voice may be recognizable, or you may have seen me get into an argument with someone or say some shit online, because that is me. And I get to, not to make you jealous, but live in my truth and make people mad while making money. So I'm blessed over here. I'm making a living being myself. And so I'm just loving where I'm at. But yeah, I am a podcaster, media personality, and now author.
Yes. And you trying to downplay saying you're not a celebrity. You are a celebrity and a podcast pioneer. Okay. WHOREible Decisions has so many sons and daughters out there. There are so many podcasts that just, y'all Y'all had a
Right.
lot of children. Okay. G and C
We-
children, everybody, every gender children podcast. Y'all did it.
We had babies. We had we could have had a show. Like, what was the lady with all them kids?
Is it Johnny?
Kate
John
plus
and Kate
8
plus
or
8?
whatever.
Yeah, I was like,
We had like plus 50 or so. We had a lot of kids. But
I had a lot of
what's
kids.
great too though, like, is we've also like grown, like I've made friendships with the girls who started potting and maybe looked to us for advice. And I mean, a lot of them to see that they're still pushing and moving forward. Like, I'm here for it. I'm here for us as specifically Black women getting on the mic, living proud and free as our queer, gay, open, straight, hetero, whatever the fuck they want to identify as, but liberated selves.
Yeah.
And there's never a time that I'm going to be like, ooh, these, they taking our sauce. Like, I'm actually so happy that we've been able to have other women follow in the footsteps to let other women know how, like, free and open they're able to be with their sexuality, with what they want to do for work, with how they want to live their lives. I mean, outside of sexuality, I don't want to be a wife or a mother. So I think to be able to speak to those things on a platform openly and live in my truth and have other people see themselves in us, I just love that we're able to do this and create voices when we know back in 1974 we couldn't even have bank accounts unless we were attached to a man. So there's that. Yeah,
there's a whole new level of freedom that comes with the path that y'all are paving, and now to have it in a book where, girl, y'all held back not nary a bit, okay,
at all.
And so I'm really excited because even just getting the notes, knowing that y'all took the time to read it, y'all let me know the excerpt y'all want me to read from, and I'm just like, I really love that because I think that, so No Holds Barred, a dual manifesto of sexual exploration. It's our book that's coming out, me and my co-host Wheezy. And the crazy thing is, the number one feedback we've gotten is that no one has really seen memoir meets self-help meets erotica in one book. And I think it was really important for us to lean into a little bit of the sex, but for me specifically, what took us so long to write it is my therapeutic journey on my relationship with myself, my relationship with sex, my relationship with my family and my past selves that I'm still currently on the journey to forgive for the decisions made. And so it was really important for me, like, to include the shame. And when you're someone who's liberated, right, sexually, even Wheezy and I went toe to toe. She was like, do you know what our brand is? You can't put shame in the book. And I was like, oh no, there has to be an element where I say, what I said 8 years ago is absolutely not what I believe in now. And I'm not going to continue that narrative. And I hold the shame of it. I went through it in therapy. I want to be able to express that. So I think as sexually liberated women, for some reason, we're not allowed to live with regret, or because we wave our hoe flags high, we have to, kind of just deal with all the repercussions and ignore the consequences that come with our actions at some point in time. And for me, I said, oh no, I want to be able to share what those look like. And so that's how we ended up with the book that you guys got to read.
It was such a good read. Like, Shana texted me and was like, what'd you think of it? And I was like, it was informative. And it was erotic because I was like, listen, like, there'll be chapters, like, it's good advice. And I'm glad you mentioned even including shame and regret in it, because it gives you like a 360 picture of it. Like the layout of how y'all did.
Hold on, Kris, Shana, I need y'all to tell me. Did y'all see how many times I had to call myself a desperate, miserable, unworthy bitch? Like, I had to be like, ooh, girl, you was insecure. Ooh, girl, you didn't have no self-worth. Ooh, girl, like, and there was a lot of times where, as I'm writing, I had to be like, oh no, you didn't love yourself. You didn't value yourself, or you were actually insecure in the moments where you thought you were the most secure. Like, so I'm glad that that y'all saw that, because I was like,
fully. Because honestly, that was something that I thought of too, where I was just like, I bet the therapy sessions after some of this were deep. deep in multiple times a week, because that's a lot of self-awareness that you all had to put into this book as well to give
Shana, I
that
recorded
open,
the
honest
session.
perspective. Shut the fuck up.
I recorded the session.
You were
So
like,
I
"No,
don't know
got
what
it."
I'm going to do with them yet.
Right.
So during writing this book, so I had been with my therapist for 4 years, but my therapist dealt with me with work and business and this like imposter syndrome of leaving my corporate career, becoming a full-time podcaster. The pandemic girl was rough. Leaving the Joe Budden network at the time that I did, working with that co-host plus Wheezy, and then I was in my first relationships. I got in my first relationship at almost 30 years old. So my therapy journey was very much present day. And I future fucked myself. So when we got to writing this book, I said, oh shit, I guess I got to tell you about my childhood and my 20s and all the shit that really I hadn't gotten deep into. And it pulled it all out of me. And so because we were writing the book and because the sessions with Tempest X, who was our co-author, and me digging certain stories out, I was like, I got to record these.
Yeah.
And so, Shane, I'm gonna end up having to send you some, but
Please.
I recorded
Please.
those sessions for a lot of the chapters.
Yeah, because that was my number one thought. And it was interesting. I actually talked to my therapist about the fact that I was going to have these conversations with you. And it was great because as soon as I was like, oh, yeah, from Horrible Decisions, she was like, the day that people thought that y'all were going to break up, she was like, my group chat popped
Oh my
off.
God.
And she was like,
Still mad at
and now
y'all.
you're going to have them on your podcast. And I was like, yeah, this is going to be great. I'm going to let them know as well that my therapist and her friends panicked that y'all were stopping.
You know what? Blame me. So my second degree is in marketing. And so, mind you, I had just got done with having a whole music podcast. And so all I was thinking was roll out.
Yeah.
And so I said, oh, we got to get the people talking. We got to make it provocative. And so that's kind of where the whole let's act like we broke up. Yeah, I
Pissed
loved
at
it.
you.
I
Pissed.
loved
And
it.
then it worked. It worked. It worked so well. I was pissed because it was like top of the year too. I was like, read the room, okay? Like we can't take shit outs. Like mad at y'all. And then
Oh yeah, new administration, and then everyone thought that their hoe allies had also went away with.
Just were like,
yeah,
So, like we just
Jesus.
disrupted everything, but no, we were here to
No,
stay. It was
genius.
all in the rebrand of the podcast. Knowing the announcement of the book was coming, and for me, the rebrand has been incredible. If you talk to Wheezy, she may not feel the same. I think that there's a strong connection to Horrible Decisions. Wonderful name, right?
It really is.
But for the elevation of us, mind you, when we started the podcast, we were 26 years old. I'm about to be 35 this year. And so literally going through relationships, leaving our corporate jobs, like getting flued out, casual sex, how we, navigate being in a relationship and outside of one. I'm not the same. And I think it got a little frustrating, like going on podcasts and being like, we got the hoes in the house. We got the biggest. And I think for me too, outside of growing up, I just relocated from New York to Atlanta. And boy, do you have privilege of being whatever sexuality you want, whatever gender you want, how to dress however you want, to kind of live however you want in New York. And I'm not from New York, I'm from Florida, but I lived there from 21 to 34. And so to move to the South and be like, oh, there's such a demographic of our people being let out because a lot of us did grow up in the church. A lot of us have the stigmas already, specifically as Black people, not to be overly sexualized and not to, you know what I mean? And so when I came down here, I said, ooh, a lot of people they're going to see the name and not even want to see what depth we go into and what impact we genuinely have with our audience simply because of the name. And I felt like it was important for us to change that just so that we could reach a broader scope of people as well.
Yeah, I would imagine it wasn't brand safe, like with just advertising. Like, it's a thing. We think about it and talk about it for bad queers. Like, I work in marketing and advertising, and the brand safe keywords that they are not fucking with, some of them are like
Wait,
crazy.
queer? I get whore,
Mhm.
girl. Hold on. I get
No.
whore.
Whore? No,
We
Queer
get flagged
queer.
for queers all
Queer
the
and
You're
time.
queer. Yeah,
lying.
no,
Can't make
yeah.
that up.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. Like
First off,
queer
which is
websites and
crazy.
everything too. Some advertisers will say like, don't have our stuff around the word gay, and we have to explain to them this is a gay site. Like, so queers and queer for some brands, nah.
They
You
can't
know
do
what's
it.
crazy about that for me is queer and the plus sign is what I have to explain to my hetero straight friends. People don't even know what queer mean to this
Yeah.
day.
Mhm.
To this day.
And the
Or it's
evolution of it
attached-
too.
That part. It used to be
Yeah.
such a bad word.
Was it a slur?
It was.
Is that what it
was.
is?
It was a
Okay.
slur.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
and now
yeah.
it's been in
Wow.
the last, like, let's say
5
decade or
years.
so, it's been reclaimed.
5 to 10 years, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll give that range where it's like it's been reclaimed and used more so as an umbrella term for
Yeah.
instead of having to say the LGBTQIA plus and all of that, it's just queer. And so it's like people fall under the umbrella of that. Like I use that for my identity so that I'm not limited to who I love, who I'm hooking up with. I'm just leaving that open to whoever I want to be with, compared to some people who are still diehard, like I'm lesbian, I'm gay, and all these
Yeah.
things, but queer is now like the umbrella term.
What's crazy about that is when you get to like my introduction in the book, I go through identifying myself as a bisexual, hetero cis, hetero romantic, abrosexual, queer existing person. And it was literally because, oh, and it's gonna be tea. So our editor during writing the book is lesbian. And in my stories, I kept identifying as bisexual. And she was like, bitch, you ain't fucking enough women to be calling yourself that. And so during the editing process, she questioned my how I identify sexually. And so that introduction in my intro had not gotten there until the edits. And it was like, okay, well, let me set the record straight. Like,
Yeah.
and even abrosexual is something that I'm like, ooh, this is me to the core. We talked about it on the pod, but it's something that, no one has really heard of. The A is normally for asexual, but abrosexual allows the fluidity for your sexuality and the way you want to represent to change, and it changes over time, right? Which is, to me, I was like, ooh, bitch, this me. Like, if I think of what a definition looks like, this is me. And so me having to identify myself in that way, because bisexuality to me looks like, first off, I eat pussy. I enjoy eating pussy. I love women. I will send a drink over. I holla. What else do you want from me? However, I don't want to date a woman.
Okay.
And so that's why I had to lean into I'm bisexual, but hetero-romantic. In my mind, I only see myself being with a man, but to be fair, again, I told y'all earlier, don't even want marriage or a kid. So even that's limited.
Yeah.
That's limited in terms of...
you say that now, it's like one of those things you say it now, but you don't know who you're going to meet. And
You know what? Kris, that's what we're not going to do, because
you don't know
I don't
who
like
you're
when
gonna
people...
meet.
No. People swear up and down, like, how old are you? Oh, you'll change your mind. Oh, what? Oh, you'll change. And I'm not going to lie. I'll be real quick to say a person ain't going to change what I know I don't want for myself. And in terms of marriage, let me be very clear. I make coins now. So what does marriage do for me? Nothing. You're not going to make me marry J.
I'm not
Blige.
thinking that you're going to change our marriage. I think if at 35, And I
Oh,
also think our generation.
Hold on, you
like,
ready? You ready? And then kids. You
Okay,
know the
you
last
know.
thing I want to be in life?
is
A single mother. You know what you can't control? Being a single mother. And for anybody listening, and it's like, no, you could find the love of your life and y'all can have a baby and he could be a great father. And then he could die in a car accident and leave me a widow and a single mother. So never want to. What
could
are you
happen.
Never
Mandii has
would've
thought this out
made
for
I
it.
have
that.
thought this the fuck out.
And
And
the
then
funny
guess what
thing
else I
is,
don't want to be? A
oh
stepmother.
no,
So figure out how you
Oh.
want to deal with that.
Okay. That's another filter on
Because
there.
I am not a nanny. I am not your babysitter. What is we
Now,
talking about?
would you date somebody who had older kids? Like what
You
it
know,
sounds like is younger kids
okay,
are
you
like,
know what?
you
Okay, this is gonna
know.
be real problematic.
I love
I'll
this.
date a nigga with older kids,
Uh-huh.
and I'll date a nigga with like 10 of them hoes. Cause now he really don't want no more.
Yeah.
And he gotta deal with all of them, but that means he can't be with all of them at the same time because life. We not Sims characters. And so I like would be fine. Here's the thing too, though. Oh, this is gonna be problematic too. I a man could be a good partner, a bad father.
Oh.
A bad father, a good
Oh, my
partner.
dad. Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so, I mean, to me, if you have a certain amount of kids, there's no way you're a good partner and a good father.
Yeah. You can't be.
You
You
can't
can't be in two places. Like yeah, you can't be in multiple places. Like you have to show up as a spouse. You have to show up individually for these kids, and then that's on top of all the other obligations. So at 35, I think people who know like and that's why it's great that you are talking about this and the
34,
visibility of it
34,
all.
34, 34.
34,
I ain't
34.
35 till
Yeah, okay.
October. Hold on, hold on.
34.
Hold
You
on,
said,
girl,
wait a
'cause
second. You said,
hold on.
hey,
Because
hey,
once you
I'm at
reach
35.
35,
Welcome.
now you mid 30s. Like I still like to say I'm low 30s.
Mm.
Young
Mm.
30s.
I hit mid 30s in January, and it's fully here. I
It's
turned
here.
35 in
Say,
January.
y'all.
You are
Y'all there. Just
you are
trying
in there.
to.
My
When's your
friends,
birthday?
it's yeah.
October 11th.
Oh, you're a Libra too. I'm
What we're
October
not
20th.
going to do is stars and moons because it don't mean
Ooh.
nothing.
Oh,
Thank you.
Shana, you found
Thank you.
your
Thank
astrology
you.
soulmate.
Mandii.
Even though you hate
We
it.
see each other.
Dana, when they be bringing up, hold on, you got the stars, the moons, the apartments, the houses. It's a
Okay,
lot
the
going
sunrise,
on.
the sunset.
Like it's
I don't
too
know these
much.
things.
The night, the days, what we doing? Then you bring in the fucking Chinese animals. Shit is a lot, right? And for me, I'm like, ain't no way this birthday is why I suck dick the way I do. It's why I have relationships. It's how well I am with friends. It's my work dynamics. I'm like, no. And I talk about in the book too. You are who you are based on three things. You have the biological factors, the I think it's the environmental factors, and then your genetic factors.
That's really what it is.
Well,
You know,
biological is genetic. So it's social, I think it's geographical and then environmental. I'm lying, then environmental.
geographical
So
makes sense
where
too.
you grow up, the lineage, yes. And then of course your environment. So if you grow up around straight people and the church and this, it's gonna shape your views on who you are and it's gonna trickle down. So it's those three factors. Bitch, it ain't the day I popped out some coochie.
Thank you. Thank you so
I
much.
use it as a guide. It does inform.
A
But
guide.
Okay,
It's a
I said,
guide.
what was
It's
it?
a
It was a
guide.
recent bad queer
Because
opinion
you're
of
acting
mine.
very Libra. I'm a Libra as well
I'm
as
screaming.
October 20th. So
I'm
like,
screaming.
that's why I
Y'all
like
see
it.
each
I was
other.
like, it's a Libra. Yeah, I see you. So no,
I
it doesn't explain everything. I just think there are definite traits for some, like I think 2 to 3 things about astrology that it's like most people have. And then the rest, like you said, it's environmental, it's all the things. So
Yeah, it's one of those where honestly, what I wish I would have done, because I didn't know how much research y'all did, I'd have been like, "Oh, Kris, girl, what you think I am?" And then you would have been like, "I'm gonna go with Sagittarius," and I would have said, "Nope, guess again." Then you would have said like 2 or 3 other ones, and then as soon as I said what I was, you gonna be like, "I
I
was
knew
gonna
it.
say that.
I knew it.
Thank
No.
I
you.
knew it."
Thank you.
No.
I hate
So
that
like, it's
shit.
one of those
I
where
hate that shit so much.
That's
when
so
I tell
funny.
you, I could be on a date, I could be outside at the bar, I could be at an event. Don't lean into what's your sign. That is not an icebreaker in 2025. Can we give it up? Can we give it up? Learn how to fucking get social, like, learn how to talk. We're not getting there through the zodiac, okay?
Thank you so much.
It's a red flag then. Red flag.
Okay.
I do want to go back to what your lesbian editor said, because when we were talking about this book, me and Shana, we were like, it's funny because like we feel like, well, I know Weezy said she's kind of gay. I was like, y'all kind of gay as hell. And like maybe y'all are a little burnt out from like your earlier experiences. Like I felt like y'all was pretty gay, but then your editor was like, no.
Well, that's the thing, right? I guess that's the difference. Like our podcast is almost over 400 episodes now.
Mhm.
So if you hear the amount of pussy I've ate, there's no question. You know what I mean? But in the book, I do only have essentially one experience with a couple. where it's a man and a woman.
That's
And
good.
then I talk about going to kind of sex clubs, and then the dungeon. There was the dom who I engaged with, but not really on a sexual. She was more of a teacher. And so throughout the book, leaning into even my advice and my experiences, I get that it was very heterosexual. But I guess that's why I leaned into the fact that I'm hetero romantic. The ways in which I want to exude romantic and intimacy with somebody or get into a relationship with them, I do want to be with a man, but I like fucking women. And so there's the crossroads, which is why we heavily lean into non-monogamy. Like it's not that I want an open relationship. It's not that I'm poly. It's not any of that. Like, but if I get into a relationship with a man, you don't get to keep that part of me lock and key. You don't get possession over that part of my sexuality. And so it's very important for me out the gate to be like, and just so you know, this isn't a free for all for threesomes. I may want to just engage with a woman by myself. And it has nothing to do with the male gaze turning you on, like, you know, making your dick hard or you joining. It's because it's what I need and want to experience at whatever time I feel the urge to. And I should be able to do that because being in a relationship shouldn't be a prison. And so that's where, you know, we talk about what non-monogamy looks like for us, but that's where I'm like, bitch, I'm bisexual. It is what it is. Like, I love seeing women. I love everything about a woman. I like titties. I like pussy. I like their ass. I like titties. Like, what, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
And so like it was very difficult to like I cried over it. Like during that editing process, I said, whoa, I don't think any time in my life have I been like told I can't identify as what I've been identifying as since I was like in high school. I was getting my pussy ate out at 16. Like, I've been dealing with women. You know what I mean? So it was like, that was my first time during this process, even like having to defend my sexuality, so to speak. And I was like, ooh. And it's what led me to do the deep dive on, okay, so what other sexualities may I be able to identify? And abrosexual is one of like the newest ones.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, let me find something that maybe allows me to not have someone question how I feel in terms of how I believe I am, my identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And that was one thing that I was thinking through because you've had so many different experiences. I was like, I wonder how many people are going to question your identity and whether or not, like, even just having your editor say, like, you haven't hooked up with enough people to be able to claim it. It's like, what's the number?
First off, I only
There a
got
memo?
3 chapters per section. I was really thinking thoughtful of having a range of topics. And I'm like, sorry that I don't have a love letter to my ex-woman. Mind you, I've only had one girlfriend my whole life. And she treated me so good and I did her so dirty. Boy, was I a fuck nigga.
Ooh, damn.
man.
So I was 21 years old. We both worked at the club. I worked at one club on South Beach. She worked at another. We got together. It was great. I could be sick.
Were you the aggressor with it, or
You know what's
wanted it?
crazy? She was. And was femme. Like,
Okay.
we'll talk about that on my bad queer take when we get
Yep.
there. But she was femme. I was femme. We both were bartenders, South Beach, in Miami. This was like 2010, 2011. So it was
Good
like
time.
2021. And she treated me good. And then we both agreed. She was dealing with like a celebrity rapper at the time. I had an athlete that I was throwed over. So we were together in Miami, but we both allowed each other the one guy that we could fuck. And so we both had that set up. When I say she treated me so good and I did her so wrong, so she had a crazy ex-girlfriend.
Of course.
Because
they do.
anyone who's dealt with women has a
Naturally.
crazy ex-girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Just once.
So she had a crazy ex-girlfriend and I was in Miami. And I'm so embarrassed for sharing this. This is not in the book, by the way. But so we're dating and we dated for a couple months and it was working great. When I say if I didn't make enough money at the club that night, she was like, here you go, baby. Well, if I was sick, it was food. She took care of me. The sex was great. And we still had the freedom to get dick. Why I fucked this up? Again, I was young. I was dumb. So this bitch started hitting me on Twitter and was fine. And so we started like DMing back and forth. And she didn't live far from me where I lived in Miami. And I had agreed to link with her. Bitch, that whole conversation was sent. It was the ex-girlfriend that was mad that me and her were now together. No. And bitch, when I tell you, I was so sad. Oh, she didn't waste no time. It was like, oh, bitch, I'm doing XYZ Elemental P for you. And you out here entertaining some bitches and some DMs with a couple pictures. Like, oh, yeah, no. And she broke up.
That's so fucked up and smart of her to do. God. No, that's...
Oh, it just ruined the shit that we had. And mind you, like, I kept hearing about this crazy ex-girlfriend, but of course, they were at least a year separated.
Okay.
But me and her were posting. Mind you, Instagram had just popped. So this isn't even like Instagram much era. It's like she sees us in BBM icons and Twitter. Like, it's right where Instagram just started. So it's not heavily there. And yeah, girl, I got caught by DMing somebody on Twitter.
Damn.
Because I ain't going to acknowledge it as X, because why would we? You know what I mean?
It doesn't exist on this podcast.
That's crazy. But yeah.
How long were you chatting with her? Like, how much did she have?
Probably only a couple weeks.
Oh,
maybe like 2 or 3 weeks.
She said enough to collect receipts.
It started innocent. Damn. Oh, it started innocent. But she looked good. Because I'll be horny. Mind you, back at this point, like, again, I'm 20, 21. I'm living in Miami. Like, this was back when, and I'm not sure if y'all ever did it, but I'm going to share. This was back when I went out to the club and I would eat coochie in the bathroom stalls of bitches I met at the table. Like, I was like on my knees eating, like, at Jerry's. If anyone ever went to Jerry's, the after-hour diner in Miami, I was eating coochie in the Jerry's diner. It was like, and so this girl just looked really cute. And mind you, Miami. Miami. It's just, everyone's beautiful in Miami. What we talk about.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
That's like your bathhouse moment in a way. We talk about it all the time, how we're jealous of gay guys having bathhouses and just going in there and fucking. Like, that's like,
because it's hard to do. Like, women think they're doing something when they make out.
Yeah.
But no, bitch, I don't know how at 21, I was on my knees in the dirty ass woman bathroom stalls in a club with a bitch sitting on my face eating pussy. Like, and I did it way more than once. So I was just like I ate pussy on the stripper floor at Tootsie's. Okay. Like in a private room. But I'm just like, damn, I think those days are gone, by the way. I don't know if that's still a thing.
It's a question mark. I like that. I think.
Right.
Like the opportunity may still arise.
Voice went up.
Yes.
Is that a thing still happening? I mean, no, the girls are wearing, they're not wearing the bandage and mini dresses anymore. Even though I think they're coming back. The girls are in the club with fucking baggy jeans and tank tops.
Yeah.
So it's not as easy to just lift up a dress. I was
going to say you were good because it was South Beach, but this was was this the business casual club days?
No. Well, yes and no.
Yes and no, but it wouldn't be in Miami. It's hot as shit.
You know what
there,
it was?
So.
It was during the We Found Love in a Hopeless Place, Rihanna type of, you know what I mean? So,
what a time. What a time.
What a time.
That was so good. We had a good run because I'll be 37 in October, but that 2007 to like,
oh yes,
I say 2014 when Obama left.
That run,
the Obama run
in the club.
Oh my god!
Like it was like you literally are going to the club because you're gonna get mad numbers, free drinks, apparently eat pussy in a bathroom stall, and you're gonna have a fucking time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because also nobody was catching it. We weren't recording anything. We weren't taking photos of anything. You could do whatever you wanted and nobody was gonna know. It was word of mouth. That was the only way. And you had to believe it. But most of the time everybody's drunk anyway. So you could.
Yeah.
You could and would.
Listen, it was a
It
time.
was a
And
time.
mind you, that time for me was Miami and then New York, greenhouse days, kiss and
Wow.
fly days. Like it was like such boy. And I was poor during well, I wasn't poor in Miami, but New York, yeah, I was a little broke. But the
We all were.
best times, like the best times. The club is not the same. It's just not the same anymore.
It's not. No, we lucked out. I feel like we had a like second era of golden hip hop too during our music time. Like that, we were out. So, what a time.
A
What would
time.
you say going from Orlando to New York and being in Miami, like the biggest difference? And like, when did you know in New York you made it? Like, you were like, I fucking made it up here.
Honestly, as soon as I didn't have a roommate, I was like, "Ooh,"
Yeah, that'll
and
do
that
it.
was still it. So I didn't. I had a roommate from the time I left my house. Mind you, I left home. I say like 3 days after graduation.
Yeah, you were a hard
I was
worker.
I was out. I
Yeah.
was out. I said, I'm grown. So I had roommates from 18 to about 28. So about 10 years of
Hmm.
living with people. And then I got my job. I graduated college in 2018, had my degree as an accountant, was working at a, Fortune 500 Big Four firm. And I was like, "Ooh, not me being able to afford my apartment in the Bronx by myself, no roommate, girl. I had a second bedroom. Ooh, um,
Ooh.
and so that was dope for
Hmm.
me. That's when I feel like I made it was when like in New York, one of the most expensive cities in the world to live. I called my view the big rich town view. I used to sing, "This is a
Yeah,
big
the
rich
power.
town I
I
just
just
come
come
from,"
from the
and
part.
I had a doorman. I was penthouse level. I had the ceiling to floor windows. It was like it was like something I didn't believe I would ever be able to obtain. Like to be able to live in New York comfortably.
Hmm. Have a
Like
doorman.
I didn't think I would have that. Like there were so many winters where it was like, bitch, this rainbow jacket got to get me through. I don't know if y'all ever shopped at the Rainbow,
Yeah.
but a
Mm-hmm.
bitch wasn't affording no Canada Goose or none of that. Like I went and got my jackets at Rainbow, and then I talk about like I had the VSG. So I was 5'1", 230 pounds. Dressing warm. Yeah, you might think I got a lot of fat keeping me warm. No. But dressing to be warm where the only thing that fits me, I feel like, is things with elastic and
Hmm.
leggings and not really wanting to appear any bigger than I am because now I have to bundle up. Like that was a little rough. So like to be able to be in New York, being able to afford a coat, having a doorman, and just finally like being able to just exist without the like what I was gonna eat, how I was gonna get where I was going. That's when I was like, oh bitch, you did your
You did
thing.
it.
It was that. It was that.
That's awesome. How was
Love
that
that.
email quitting your corporate job? Because that's what we dream of writing that resignation
You know
email. Or
what's
what? How
crazy?
did you break up with your
I'm
corporate?
s- I'm way too nice.
Yeah.
So I worked at EY, formerly
Mhm.
Ernst and Young. So I was at a big four firm and I was so I did investment tax. I was in the investment tax group. And in the summertime in July, you have K1 season, which is girl.
My tax renter.
It is,
Poor y'all.
it is 7 days a week. You got to go in on the weekends. Mind you, in New York, they think they're doing something. If you stay past 6, you get dinner. If you stay past 8, they give you a car ride home.
Mm.
Ooh, thanks. Um, and so I went to quit in June. And so I literally went to my partner and I was like, hey, so I want to put in my 2 weeks. Like, really? Why? Tell me why. Mind you, it's me and maybe another 1.5 black people in this group. Like, it's just a lot. It's corporate,
Yeah,
okay?
it's
And
corporate.
so I wasn't happy. I was crying on lunch breaks. It was a lot of hours. I was making 63,000 a year as a
Mm.
first year tax accountant. Um, and I just wasn't happy. And so we had went on tour with Horrible Decisions that January through May, I made my salary with the podcast.
Wow.
Literally, between ads and between touring, I made my
Your
salary.
entire-
And so a part of me was like, bruh, I'm giving 40, 50, 60 hours a week sometimes on salary to these crackers. I'm a Florida girl, don't mind me. And I was like, bruh, if I get that shit to myself, like, I wonder where I can go. And so I went to put in my 2-week notice. And probably one of the most assuring things happened. So my partner happened to be Black. And I ain't fuck with a lot of people on my team. So he was like, okay. So normally when people leave, if anyone listening is an accountant, turnover is crazy. So normally what they do is they used to bring in magnolia pudding or cake and send whoever was quitting off. So I'm looking at my partner. I was like, don't do that shit with me, bro. I don't even like these motherfuckers here like that. For real, for real. So he was like, okay, well, I'd like to take you to lunch and tell me who you want to join us. 3 motherfuckers, that's it. Out of like 16 people. I said 3. I only like 3 of them, for real. I don't even like these people like that. So he takes me out and I come back. My senior, mind you, at this point, this is where I was like, ooh, this is a rough career. Like, one of my senior managers had left. Like, they were staggering to leave because they were getting pregnant at a time that they were like, whew, now I can get pregnant. I've only worked here for so long. I'm in a place where I'm comfortable, finally family building. So I had meetings with like all my senior accountants, like senior managers. And it was so assuring. Every single one I sat with was like, on the weekends, I do this thing with my friends where I'm on stage and we do improv. Or I used to have this vision of having a clothing line. I really like doing this. And so when I told them I was actually leaving for a podcast, they were like, holy shit. Like, I had to leave that part of me so many years ago to focus on my career that like, they were just like, wow. Like, they were inquisitive about how and why I felt so confident to do it. And it like pushed me to be like, okay, like everyone I've actually worked with, things I've never heard about them, we connected in that. And then my dumb ass gave them an additional 2 weeks. So I didn't end up leaving till July.
Just in case, get that last check. The last couple checks.
I was like, they was like, can you give us 2 more weeks? Like, we really need you. Like, and I'll say, y'all got me
Very
till
Libra of
5.
you.
I'm not staying late, but I will stay and help. And I literally like, but also I think it was because I connected to them on like a creative level where like things in which they were like so interested in from a creative landscape that they had to kind of let go of because they were in corporate. It almost made me see all of them, even though they wasn't invited to the lunch with the partner. I was like, oh, damn, you're human. You're not a bitch. Okay. And it was just great to kind of connect to so many of my seniors at that time where it like let me know you're making the right decision.
Yeah.
And then, bitch, 7 years later, pandemic. So,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
so it was like, which also, by the way, as a creative, sorry for anyone who lost someone and sorry for anyone whose financial state changed so drastically. Boy, has it only been up from there. 2020 to now has been a life that I couldn't have imagined. From my personal relationships to the growth within myself to financially. My mind didn't even have the ceiling that I'm already at right now.
That's amazing.
Like my mind didn't even imagine it. Like, girl, I used to just want to make $1,000 a week. Ooh,
Right.
let me make 52,000. Ooh, let me make 60,000. Then I was like, ooh, let me hit 6 figures. We all have this goal of like a 6-figure. 100,000 ain't like in this economy. Eggs
No,
is $36. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And so the idea that I've like surpassed that and have been able to like help friends and family and things like that, I just would have, the fact that I would have been able to get out of the shackles of patriarchy.
That part.
If I want a first class flight, I'm going to get it. I don't have to suck dick for it. I don't have to go fly to a man to do it. I don't have, like, all the ways in which I thought I was only going to be able to touch certain parts of life with the attachment to a rich person is no longer my reality. And it's like completely shifted every which way in which I see I'm able to exist.
You get to be yourself and get paid for it.
Oh,
And all the hard work of it. Because this all sounds like the people who, who aren't creatives or doesn't create, like this all sounds like, oh, fair. But we know, like the production and the work behind the scenes is insane. So how have you and Wheezy been able to just, sustain it? You know how it is. It's a lot. How
you know
have you been able to get through it?
what's crazy about that is we just had a conversation about whether you want to be inspired by your partner. And the conversation was like, if you, and inspiration either like personally or professionally. And we got into it and I was like, yo, I want to be able to live life with someone, not really be inspired by them, essentially. Like, bitch, be inspired by Oprah or something, you know? But the way we work now, and it's what we said, mind you, we have arguments, we have disagreements, we have different working styles.
It's a whole relationship.
Boy, is it hard. It's why I don't want to get married. Bitch, I'm in a marriage already.
You are.
But the reality is what we've built with HOREible Decisions. And I want to say HOREible Decisions because we have a whole whore hive. We did it for 8 years before we just changed the name. Anytime we get into arguments, mind you, we've definitely come to like, we ending this shit. Fuck you. There's years, if y'all go back through the back catalog, where we'd be like, oh, Weezy couldn't make it. She had work. No, we couldn't be in the same room together.
Mm-hmm.
But an episode had to go out. So, bitch, you do a solo and I'm going to do a solo, right?
Yeah.
But I think through touring and actually meeting the listeners that were able to get past the name and actually listen to us, we've just always landed on what we're creating is bigger than us.
Yeah.
The messaging is bigger than us. This little argument, our egos, this disagreement, you wanting to be right, me wanting to be right, whatever, wherever we're at, the messaging is way bigger than us. And as a woman who doesn't want children, the book specifically, the podcast, those are my babies and those are my legacy. And so where people put legacy into childbearing and seeds and shit, them motherfuckers could grow up and be serial killers. So now your legacy is the mother of a serial killer. You feel me? Like the mother of a pedophile, like the mother of
just a fuckboy. Like even if they never do anything serious, like just a shitty man.
We could go through all the bad things, and of course I'm being extreme. But the idea that my legacy is in the hands of another human being, humans suck. Humans make mistakes. Humans don't know everything. None of us are God. And so for me, being able to quit that corporate career, getting over all the hangups with Wheezy, literally is because what I'm building is what will live beyond any person I spit out my coochie. Live beyond, it'll go for generations. And so for me, that's what kind of keeps me going. Bitch, if we got to move this shit to email, we ain't got to talk.
Right.
If we got to get lawyers involved, we get lawyers involved. If there has to be someone middle, but to me, it's very important to keep this going. And this book as well, like it encapsulates such a moment for me, but in the most transformative time. So like for me being 34, reaching this level of cognizance of regret, shame, but also growth and really wanting to live the life that we only get one. Even though I know, Kris, you probably believe that we've been here 7-8 times. I don't know them people. You know what I mean? Like you probably believe we've been here before. maybe, but I have one life to live. And so for that, I only want to put everything out there and hope that people are able to shift and change and get an inkling of the happiness I've been able to experience in their own lifetimes.
Yeah.
I love that. I think that's a
Yeah.
beautiful narrative to be able to have, and y'all are doing it. Y'all are making it happen. And for even for podcasters like us who have also we've been around we just celebrated our 5-year anniversary and are going and moving
Thank you.
forward and trying to see how we do this and how we can escape corporate worlds and doing things like y'all are. We're like,
Inspiration.
we're seeing it happen in real time. So we appreciate that. And we want to be able to hear a little teaser for the folks who before they get the book, before they do the things. And so we have specifically picked out a chapter that both Kris and I were immediately like, hey, you remember the chapter? Did you know you can find unicorns in Mexico? Which, first off,
hold on, can I just tell y'all for the listeners? Of course, they motherfucking picked the one chapter where I ate some coochie.
Hey,
well,
if you're coming on back to this podcast,
yeah,
that's what we're going to do. But in that as well, you reminded folks that it's not only men who can shoot their shot. And you proceeded to give really great tips for women to remember that in whatever dating scenario, that they can also hit on somebody too. So would you mind reading the section where you shared your tips for being brave about hitting on people?
Yes. So in this chapter, you're not going to find a unicorn really in Mexico, but essentially a unicorn for anyone who's a little vanilla in the lifestyle space. It's a person, normally a woman, who engages in joining a couple because they want to be with a couple, not because they want to be with one or the other. It's that their desire is to experience two people at one time. And on a solo trip to Mexico, I got to experience that. And I looked and saw a couple that I fucking wanted. And I shot my shot. So I will share some tips that I give in this chapter. I think there's only 4. But when shooting your shot, these are things that I remember so that I can be brave. Okay. So I think as humans, this is the number one thing. And this is the word that I think none of us know how to accept in any part of our lives. The worst thing they can say is no. That's literally the worst that can happen. They say no. You enjoy the power of saying no to others. So allow others the same autonomy and be okay with receiving it. I think when it comes to jobs, when it comes to our parents telling us no, when it comes to, getting the courage to tell the crush that we actually like them, like we have such this huge thing from a very small age where we're not able to accept no. However, that word becomes so powerful as an adult. Mm-hmm. No, girl, I'm tired. I don't want to go out. No, nigga, I don't want to fuck tonight because I'm exhausted. Or no, I just no. And so that's, once you are willing to accept that no is an okay word and you can live after hearing it, oh, you'll be great. Oh, baby, I am. I'm shooting my shot every day. The second one, this I learned at a very early age. Everyone is not for everyone. So every person you find attractive is not a potential partner. Rejection is normal. If a person is uninterested in you, don't take it personally. Plenty more fish are in the sea, and it's possible that person can be in your life in another capacity. I think when you find someone to be attractive, you automatically want them to be a partner, and you don't even consider them as a human. You look at them as, ooh, we could be this, and you automatically have the expectations for them to show up as someone that, bitch, this person could be a dope ass friend. Yeah. This person could be a resource professionally. Making the rejection of by all with ending contact with someone because they didn't find you attractive or weren't interested in that type of way is a big loss. This one's a little controversial. It's fine to be corny sometimes, okay? So start the conversation with a joke or a bad pickup line that can break the ice. You can both laugh about how bad the joke was, and then you can lean in next with a compliment. If that's too straightforward for you, reference a drink on the menu or the sports game on the television screen. And this could be literally anywhere. So what I like to do, first off, I love a masculine man, a feminine woman. You see, I have I have all these
Mhm.
things. Don't let me be attracted to a man who got a cherry in his drink. I'm problematic like that. That's gonna be my pickup line. Like, I know you ain't. What you about to do with that cherry? Like, why you got a cherry in your goddamn drink? Oh, I'm problematic with the views, right? Um, or if they're rooting for a team on the screen, even if you don't know that team, just talk shit. Like, oh, that's who you going for?
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's real easy. Um, I'm trying to think my pickup lines for women. I really just send drinks across the room and see how friendly they are. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy because I think women approaching men is so like not a thing. It's so taboo. You
Mhm.
kind of got to be corny. To me, for women picking up on women, it's normally the most natural.
Yeah.
You just compliment, compliment the outfit and see what the eyes is given. The last one, which to me is what I live by. Embarrassment typically does not last long. I promise y'all. Have you ever jumped into a cold plunge or off of a boat into the ocean and felt the shock hit your body, only for the water to feel perfect soon after? Be fine with laughing at yourself and know that embarrassment is a feeling we don't have to sit with for long. It's not the end of the world, and managing your embarrassment can help you grow. Get a grip on it, and it will assist in your confidence to go after what and who you want. Here's the thing. Boy, do we be thinking people be paying attention to us.
Mm.
Boy, do we think that we is gonna live in their minds for the rest of their lives.
Yep.
They're literally not gonna remember you probably tomorrow, especially if we out drinking. Boy, do I not remember half the night sometimes. And so this idea that, oh, maybe you tripped going over to them, or maybe you were like, oh, you cute, or you didn't get the words out right. And maybe they did reject you. You're embarrassed internally, but they're not sitting with that. Like, as soon as you're able to let that go, on to the next one.
Mhm.
And it's like embarrassment is one of those things that like we grow up with thinking like, oh my God, the whole cafeteria is gonna laugh at me. It's gonna ruin my whole school year. And when in reality, embarrassment, and maybe because we think so quick, like it's on to the next so quickly now with our lives because of social media,
Mhm.
Mhm.
no one cares really.
I really don't.
Like embarrassment is a self-internalized thing that once you're able to control it and get over it and be able to laugh at yourself, like, oh bitch, that was an awful pickup line and it didn't work. Don't do it again. And then now you just
You
move
got the
on.
practice. You
You,
know.
Right. You
you got the
tested it out.
practice.
You
Yep.
tested it out.
We talk about practice. Practice like AI said. Practice. Talk about practice.
This- But that's what you have to do. And thank you so much for reading this. We picked this out because we talk about like shooting us queer women shooting our shot more and how we like rejection and how we're like not socialized to be assertive, like go out there and do what you want. I know when I was out dating, I was heavy on the no game, but I would just look at things where it's like, I'm going to talk to the bartender, I'm going to comment on things naturally and see what I get out of that. And it just be what it is. But I had to like learn that through trial and error and like practice and all that. So I think a
Yes.
lot of us are like I asked my wife, I was like, how'd you hit on women? She dated men and women, they always hit on her. She was like, if I
Damn, you
did,
said
I gave them
wife.
the eyes.
Damn, this dimple
Eyes.
was damn. All
She's a
right.
Florida girl too,
Shout
Broward
out to
County.
your wife. All right.
Hmm.
I ain't looking at your dimple
Yes.
no more.
Yep. Well, but no, she said she gave the eyes. And I was like, so you never had like a line or anything? She was like, nah, I just look at them. And I was like, well,
I
yeah,
mean, there
get
is a
off.
look. Like me and my homegirls, we be talking about eye fucking. When you
Yeah.
go out, oh baby, lock an eye for 3 seconds or
Done.
longer. Like
Yeah, get in
I
there.
I want to jump your bone. Like it is what it is. And so I think that eye contact, yes. However, if you're in a group setting, like the intimidation that we normally put on the person to approach us is so much higher if we're like, say we're with colleagues, say we're with a group of friends, especially a group of homegirls. Oh, he or she better have all their motherfucking lines ready. And then unfortunately, because of social media, they better have the bag to buy all your friends a drink too. Otherwise, they talking shit. So it becomes a little bit intimidating for them to approach in a group setting. And so for me, it's like when I go out, there's nothing worse than the regret of not saying anything.
Yeah.
Embarrassment is short-lived. Boy, does it sit with me for a couple days when I beat myself up for literally just not saying nothing to another human.
Those the shots I didn't take hurt. Or you think of the people where it's just like I could have just said something. I could have just complimented and just kept it moving, and that's it. Like you said,
I could have just said hi.
Yeah, that's it.
I could have just said, "You want a $12 drink, or it's happy hour? You want a $7 one?" I don't know where y'all live listening to this, but you know, inflation across the country. But I'm like, damn, like I didn't even see, and then, boy. Let's not talk about how then I'd be going through the tags like, oh, maybe he tagged that he was at the space I was at, or
you follow the promoter.
Those
maybe she follows the promoter. Like, let me go to the promoter page, see if they in the story. It be, and then you literally beat yourself up for not literally saying something to another human who mind you, eats shit, sleeps, and has to deal with the same shit that you have to.
Yeah.
Like, go after them. But yeah, like I'm very big, again, dismantling the patriarchy and as a woman going after what I want.
Yeah. I love that. Where did you get that? Like, when did you have or notice that you had that assertiveness and that you didn't have those hangups that most of us are like socialized into having?
Girl, middle school, girl.
You're like middle school?
Middle school. I was
Are you a public school kid? Public school kid?
What?
Are you a public school kid?
And am.
Okay. Did you ride the bus as well?
I walked or
well,
carpooled.
Okay.
I was close enough.
That makes
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if I had a crush on somebody, they knew. And that was back, let me not age myself, but that was back when we were writing letters in the hall.
You said not age yourself. We're older than you.
Okay, but
I know, right?
But for the listeners, like it's when you actually wrote letters because not everyone like I didn't have cell phones. I think two-ways were introduced while I was in middle school. Like pagers, then two-ways, then sidekicks, then cell phones. You know what I mean? And so it was the letter exchanging or the tell your friend to tell a friend. Like, let them know I like them or whatever, and see if they like me back. You know what I mean?
Never had hangouts with it. Like you just were.
And then if they didn't, like I said, there was either a different direction in where that relationship could go.
Yeah.
And I was
that's a great point too.
And
they could be significant in another way in your life, like you mentioned.
It could be your best friend. This could be a business contact. This could be someone who helps you navigate a low in your life because they've gone through it. Like there's so many other ways to connect to people outside of romantically that cool. We feel like we have our friends. Then no, we're dating. Especially like if you're honing in on I'm looking for a girlfriend, I'm looking for a boyfriend, I'm looking for a wife, I'm looking for a husband. We miss out on the other relationships that could formulate with that person once we automatically only, because you really only want to sleep with them. You don't even know if they're a good partner or not. So why would you like have that as not an option?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's
so
fair.
good. Thank you.
That's fair.
See these tips. And it's just in time for summer too. So y'all take these tips.
Oh, outside.
Outside.
Yep.
Yeah.
Outside and am.
Yep.
And am.
Okay. Yes, I'm the single
one.
You
too, Shana? You outside?
Yes, I am outside.
Where are y'all located?
I'm in Chicago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Chicago outside is cute. I've been wanting to make the little boat week y'all have out there. Where
yacht week. Yeah, that's coming up next weekend.
You know, I call it boat because it's giving boats, not yachts, for real. But I love that they all go together.
Oh no, don't disrespect them like that because they be getting the yachts.
I am.
They put
that's
the money
fine.
down.
Chicago can come for me. Well, no.
Like,
don't come for me, Chicago. I'm lying. By the way, I love Chicago. It's giving clean New York, one of my favorite cities.
Yeah. It is
Yeah, no,
great.
I love Chicago, but yeah, I've wanted to do that, and I've had booze in Chicago. The Midwest has the most generous,
Oh,
just the most generous. Listen, I'm just gonna say the most generous. Chicago and Detroit, baby, they got them. They breed them different there,
yeah.
and it's something in the water.
That's so funny.
It's
Okay.
something in the water.
It's something in
Well,
the water.
actually, damn, in Michigan there is,
I
and
mean,
I'm
in Michigan
sorry.
there is.
That is
Yes.
not.
Yeah,
I did
You're
I was
not
like,
mean
Cleaning
it by
that up.
that.
Oh,
I was like,
Actually,
well, yes.
okay,
yes,
actually, okay,
Shop
We
Shana,
know what we did here.
damn, damn.
We know what we
Shout
did
out
here.
Flint.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
A moment of silence for Flint.
They know your heart. They know your
Yeah.
heart. Okay.
Silence for Flint. Yes,
Yeah.
my bad.
Yeah.
They know your heart.
Oh, that's funny.
It's okay. But yes, and then Kris is in the Bay Area.
Hmm. Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, it's great. out here.
Probably my fave. Just did All
great.
Star Weekend there.
Oh,
Still
great.
have yet to do the Vineyard or Oakland, but got to do
Okay.
the Bay and then went over the bridge into, I don't know, some bougie area. But when I tell you, it felt like New York, Europe. It felt like all these different places all in one.
It is.
I said you have the water, you have then
The
you have like
mountains,
the
desert.
hills. So it still felt like LA because you're on the water. It was given almost all of my favorite cities in one. And I was like, I love it here.
It's so great out here. I've
It's
been
the
out here
best.
for 11 years. I'm from Virginia, so I'm 5'7".
Okay.
So my mom wants us to move closer home. Our families are out east, but I love it out here. I do.
When I
There's not
say
enough black
love
people
it,
though. Not enough
no,
black people.
but
But it's great.
I would say lifestyle. So for our audience, even for our podcast, it took us a while to get there because we just did LA. We weren't doing much on the West Coast. And boy, is San Fran the place to be, the Bay.
It's fun out here.
Just it's our people. Like I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
And then y'all got Japantown, Koreatown.
Mm-hmm.
Girl, I
Food
went and
paradise.
I went and saw the little Full House house.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Painted ladies.
The Painted
that.
Ladies.
Uh-huh.
I went to the bridge. I said, I'm even doing all the little. This is giving.
And you haven't even been to Napa yet. So I'm like, now I moved.
I
Yeah,
out
or
of
haven't
that
Oakland.
even
area.
done Napa.
Yeah. Or Oakland. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to go
Okay,
to
so
Napa
to be
for
fair,
sure.
I did Oakland when a ball player flew me out there, but it didn't count.
Okay.
It didn't count.
You got to go
That was,
back
I was
to Oakland.
I was too young. I was too young.
Yeah.
But I would love to do Oakland and then Napa.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been wanting to even hit Robert Glasper's the Jazz Fest. That
Oh
he-
yeah, the is it Blue
Yeah.
Note, the
Blue Note.
Fest?
Yes,
Note.
the Blue Note. That's one of my favorite
Mhm.
spots in New York.
Yeah.
If you're listening and you're in New York, cute date night, but love the Blue Note. Like one of my favorite. I got to see Ja Rule with a live band.
Oh, wow,
Ooh.
that's great. He did
He
Holla
was-
Holla with a band.
It was so.
Wow.
What would I be without my baby? Like with a band behind him. At the
love
Blue Note.
that.
Like it
Mhm.
was. He let me
That's
sing
so good.
J Lo's part
What?
on "I'm Real." Oh, I have the video of it. Like I got to be J Lo with Ja Rule. Like, what are you saying? Oh,
That's amazing.
when I say I think that's overall that's how I like when you could look back and feel like your middle school self would be proud, your elementary school self would be proud. Like to know that I'm in rooms with people that like I grew up being a fan of.
Mhm.
My mom hopped out the car and got your poster for me. Like I had you plastered all over my wall and now I can text you and now I'm on your show or now I'm in a room with you and you know who I am. Like even those moments be like fuck where I live at. The people that I loved growing up, I've got to either sit with an interview or they know who I am.
It's amazing.
And it's like
Through your hard work.
through
Too.
through
And
that
being
like
yourself.
when
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like that's incredible.
It
That's
is.
incredible. And I
Yeah.
like, yeah, nothing better than that.
Yeah.
I've met so many people and I was like,
That's so funny. I was like, I don't think marriage and babies would top that. So you're fine.
you feel me? Like, girl,
I was
I
like,
leave to the south of
yeah,
France
yeah.
tomorrow. Okay.
Right.
And
So,
guess what?
It won't top that.
I gotta just lay out some food for my cat. but I ain't
That's
really
it.
got to
And
worry
a
about
cat.
shit.
You ain't even got a dog.
I got a
so-
cat. I will not have a dog.
No. Yeah,
For
see.
anybody
glad to know.
listening who's like, I don't really want kids,
Same.
but has a dog, you're lying to yourself. A dog is a child,
They are.
and you are lying to yourself. Maybe you don't want the labor of caring. I get that. Maybe you don't want to push nothing out because you don't. I get it. You know, pregnancy, delivery, it's a lot. But if you have a dog, you have a whole child.
It is. To the very
That's
end.
a
too.
child. And for anyone who chooses to get a dog with a partner that they're not married to, you dumb. You got to co-parent for the rest of your life
Just
until
insane.
that animal die. Don't do it.
Which
Don't
is
do it.
insane. That
That's
was
my
a
tip
backward.
to y'all. Don't do it.
See, look at this. I was like saying these tips is the perfect segue into our backward opinions because that
Yeah.
just lines it up. So what type of backwards would we be if we didn't have unpopular queer opinions? Now, Mandii, we already explained this to you, but again, we're in our backward opinion era. It's safe until it's not. Please follow-up questions, comments, concerns about anything that Kris and I say, and then we'll pass the mic over to you. I will go ahead and get started with my backward opinion, which is stop locking yourself into gender roles in the bedroom. Each person can put their thing down, flip it, and reverse it. You are blocking your blessings by not fully exploring the freedom of being queer in the bedroom because y'all are stuck on these gender roles. And there's no need. There's no need. But everybody who is queer should obviously be averse, in my opinion. Everybody should be averse. I feel like that's a good time.
Opinion there.
That's what I feel like should
That's
happen.
actually the one.
I'm gonna say it.
Shana,
Don't
can I
lock
tell
yourself
you,
in.
that is the best opinion I've ever heard.
Thank you so much.
I love verses, and I'd be mad when, like, I love a verse because why not? What are you
Why
talking about?
not?
Remove the stick. Yes, that is probably the best bad queer opinion I've ever heard because it's not
Pretty
bad.
good there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was thinking about it. I actually came from reading the book and I stopped and I was like, why do we lock ourselves into this? Look at these experiences.
And
People who stop themselves from having this are missing out on the great things in life that they could be doing. And that's why whenever I go, I was like, I'm proud verse. And I'm like, no, don't play with me. The energy could be there in either direction, but I'm not going to stop both sides from happening. It's just not gonna. And some people are so stuck into all of the little boxes that people put them in for their identity and for how they feel like they should be acting or showing up in the world or the vulnerability. And I'm just like, let's move past
you
this.
doing all those teas. You didn't even, don't let your anatomy stop you. Get the strap. You can get it. You said vulnerability, compatibility. What about anatomy? Don't let anatomy stop you.
That's the key thing.
You could get it popping.
Y'all, the way y'all have been aligned on this.
Okay.
Look, Shana
and I are
Shana's
here.
me, actually. Shana
We are
is me.
here.
Listen,
Mirrors.
Yes.
Right here.
Okay, let me, Kris, let's hear yours.
Here for it.
I mean,
Let's
I'm
hear
not going to
yours.
be able to top that at all, but as a top. So that is a proud top, surface top, but you know. My thing, I've just seen a lot of the, and it may be because it's pride, a lot of the I'm gay but not gay stuff, or I'm not going
with
to
the
pride.
JoJo
I'm not,
Siwa and all that.
all that kind of thing. Listen, we on this show are about our community being expansive. I don't care how anybody identifies and all that. I just think it's a really corny attempt to say you just want straight friends and straight validation to talk to your phone and put it on the internet to share with people that you're gay, but you're not gay, or you're that type of gay. It's like, we don't care. Like, we really don't care. We don't care if you're not going to Pride. We don't care what type of gay you are. Like, talk directly to the straight people you want validation from, the straight people you want to be friends with, and like leave us out of it. Because I don't get the content. Like, I'm like, who is this for? Like, why'd you shoot this video to tell us that you're not that kind of gay? It's like, don't nobody care. Just don't go to Pride.
Right.
Don't go to Pride. Don't go to Pride. Don't be that kind of gay. But like, go over there with the straight. You know, if you want the straight validation, if you want to be friends with them, just say that. Just leave us out of it. Out of
Okay.
these videos. I hate them. Like, who is this for?
Not mad at that.
I hate it. Every Pride, there's a queer person talking to their phone.
You
to
said
us.
every June, I hate all of y'all on the internet.
I
Every year, this is
have
now a
Pride
cycle.
fatigue.
It's like,
have
I know
Pride
Christmas is coming, and I know you motherfuckers are going to piss me off in June.
Every year.
Yes.
Every year. pride fatigue with that. It's like everybody wants to get their shit off where it's just like, fam, it's pride. Let people, I don't care what type of gay person you are. You don't have to shit on the community though. So
Okay.
don't go to pride. Don't go to pride. We don't need to know.
Okay.
That's like announcing that you're taking a flight in the airport. It's like, who the fuck cares? So is everybody. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Who cares? We're not that kind of gay. Who cares?
Oh, man.
Like, we don't care. Don't come to the parties. Bad vibes. So,
Okay.
you know, just a PSA. Just a reminder.
Okay.
Now, Mandii, I'm ready.
Okay.
We are ready.
I kind of leaned into it earlier.
Yep.
My bad queer opinion is that bisexuals deserve love too. And let me break it down. If I'm leaning to Shana in the gender removal, the masculine studs, whatever you want to call them, I don't know all the language and I don't want to offend anyone, but the masculine women don't want a bisexual bitch. Maybe because it's the competition between the plastic dick and the dick with the pulse. I don't know. But I got sick of going to all women parties, lesbian events, and being like, oh, wait, but you're not gay. Kris, that was the response to me. As a bisexual woman, once they realized I still liked men, I immediately was like, they didn't want to talk to me. And I don't experience that as much with the femme women as I do other women. And I'm just like, and mind you, again, I shoot my shot at everybody. Like,
yeah.
So you don't want me because I like dick. That's crazy. But I also want to speak to any of the men listening. Bisexual men exist.
They do.
Bisexual men exist. They're not gay. They're not anything else that you want to consider. Like the fact that bisexuality only lends to being acceptable for women to be, and it's not acceptable for men is insane. Bisexuality also exists for men. And I think that for what I hear, it's the same acceptance. However, from the opposite, I know a lot of men that don't want to share their bisexuality to women as much. But also for men, there's that, kind of line too. I think that I have a dream that that bisexuality gets kind of accepted as an actual sexuality. And I think the problem with it is the lack of ability in terms of comprehension and communication. As someone who exists in a non-monogamous setting in terms of romantic partnerships with someone who's bisexual, guess what? You just may have to talk more. You may have to be very clear about your boundaries, the things you like, what you don't like. And those things should have to be communicated to your partners more. And so I think that becomes the difficulty. Like I spoke to earlier, the fear of rejection, the fear of embarrassment. Those fears, I think, hinder the open communication that's allowed for bisexuals. And I just want everyone to know that bisexuals exist. And we're not a monolith. That's all. Like, you know what I mean? You feel me? Like, there's the
like
romantic, there's the romantic side of things. There's the sexual sides of things. And then unfortunately, we are all, especially as millennials, especially Gen Z, especially the ones before us, we are all dismantling and currently unlearning a lot of things that we have to in order to be able to be ourselves, in order to exist freely. And so in terms of dismantling the patriarchy and gender roles, while also unlearning all the things that was set forth through miseducation of sex education, along with the things learned through the Western society of Christianity, we just got to kind of unlearn shit.
Yeah.
But bisexuals, men and women, exist. And sometimes we don't want to be turned down because we bisexual. We're clearly interested. Allow us to be interested, and I'd like you to be interested in me back. And literally not just be turned down because I'm bisexual. And allow us in the spaces. They be wanting to act like we can't be in the spaces either.
Okay,
It's
that
really,
part.
they
It's
be,
a lot of biphobia. It's pretty crazy.
bro, the biphobia is,
Nuts.
no, is insane. It's again, like, we're not gay enough. We're not gay, but you gay just a little bit, but not enough to where you're not a part of the, like, maybe you're an ally, but we're not really going to accept you. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. The B is third. And they just want to be like, yeah, but. It's like they want to put a but for the B. Like, it's
Yeah.
bisexual, but I don't know
Right.
if you welcome here or if I want to deal with you because I know more of who I am than you do. And I don't want to. No, I know who I am. Bisexuals know who they are. Allow us to know who we are.
Yeah.
That's my bad queer opinion. Can you tell I came ready? I was like,
Ready
oh,
to
got
get,
one.
You got a fresh
Prepared.
experience too.
Got one.
Nah, no, the bees, first off, the bees are the most overrepresented. If men were able to be bisexual, especially black men, like people would understand that it is actually the bees that are the majority in the LGBTQ plus. Like it is the bees.
Okay,
like
yes
most
and no.
people are.
Yes and no. Because hear me
Yes and
out.
no. What you about to say?
In hetero straight dynamics, bitches be getting pushed into the B that ain't.
Oh well.
So I feel like there's a lot of women that are fake B. I do
Yeah.
feel like there's a large majority of men that are the B. But then it gets tricky because, and I know I told
Pushed
y'all.
into the B is interesting. You
I
don't
was
think
about to
that's
say,
just
'cause you don't get pushed into
experience?
the
That's
B.
just
They're just not
yeah.
bees.
Like you just
You said there's a
you had
question
an
to the B.
experience.
Here's my question to the B. And I'll be freaky. Again, if you read the book, I go from thinking any man who wanted anal sex with me was gay to literally, I have only pegged men. I got the strap is for the men. It
You
ain't
really
even
see
for
the
the
growth in the
women.
book. You see the
Yeah,
growth.
oh, the growth is the growth,
growth in the book is.
And so for me though, when I've actually been able to create those safe spaces, because I've only been with black men, and that's something I like to share. Like, I'm not doing this to white men. I've only ever been with black men, and there's pride that comes with knowing I've created these safe spaces for them to allow me to enjoy something that I enjoy, right? But in terms of actually talking to them about their sexual preferences or the psychology of it all, they would deal with trans women. They like women. If a dick is there or not, they kind of don't really care or not. It
Yeah.
sometimes
It's anatomy.
becomes an addition. And so, but there's a clear distinction in if they like men or women. But then when we bring in trans women, that's where I think we've seen, even in pop culture, people's sexualities be labeled for those preferences. And so for me, that's why I said the B is kind of tricky because people want to lean into that they're bi, but the men that I've dealt with that have allowed me to bend them over gracefully, that have also maybe experimented or enjoy trans women, absolutely do not identify as bi or gay because they like women.
Well, hopefully we could get to a space where there isn't, we don't have to deal with these labels. But I think bisexual, first off, I think from the perspective of a L and from the G, it's like, I don't think we could admit that we can't handle competition. Like, I think like in college, like the women that I dealt with that now I know to be bisexual, like it was scary in my mind because it was like, I might lose her to men, but it's like, but I'm not losing her to men. She's 100% attracted to women and men or whatever percentage it's going to be. Like, you go out there and compete. Like,
It's
if
the
she
ego
likes
of
you,
that
she
too, but guess
doesn't, then
what?
don't.
And everybody that being monogamous, if y'all not watching this, I got air quotes. If they're in monogamous heterosexual relationships, you may lose your partner to another person.
Yeah.
It's just the reality of it. It could be another person. And so why does it matter if it's a man or woman? That's all ego. It's all ego.
It is.
Because the reality of it is your partner may cheat on another person, on you with another person. So do you care who doing the bending? Maybe. But goddamn, get over it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm trying to
All
think.
our
Would I
bees.
care? Would that be
All
my
I can
question?
picture is
Who was
Janet
doing the
Jackson
bending?
from that Tyler Perry.
You know that movie, the Tyler Perry?
Yep.
Was you doing the bending?
The bending?
Like, again, ego. Because
Ego.
now is it just what
He's not that kind of gay. He's
is
not
it?
the
Is
one
it?
that's,
But also,
you know?
is it that you're actually internalizing public perception? So that unicorn chapter, even though I talk about shooting your shot, it was more so about that experience happening because I was able to remove what my friends or anyone with me would have thought
Mhm.
because I was by myself. And so that the whole theme of that chapter too is being able to just do what the fuck I want to do and deal with whatever consequences only by myself and not what anyone else thinks. And so when we think of being cheated on is already a fucking gut wrencher, right? But then if your friends know it's with another sex, it's really maybe what other people are going to make you feel, not
Mhm.
as much as what you feel,
Yeah. The
you know?
ego. Yeah.
So the lesson learned is they gonna cheat. So just
They
let them
gonna
cheat
cheat.
with a man or a woman. Who cares?
There we go.
Also, I also want to say, don't just place just the plastic dick on us. We have 10 dicks, okay? This is the hands are actually where it's at. The strap is like, that's cool, that's cute in the 20s, yeah, doing all that
Now
stuff.
you
But
added
what you
to this
really
bad
want
queer
to
opinion.
do is,
Kris,
because
you
they
have
assigned it
to.
to us. They were like, do you
Kris,
want the throbbing real one or do you want the
Kris, you
plastic?
have
And
to
it's like,
stop. You have to stop.
plastic,
You
that
have to
ain't
stop.
it.
There is a
You
huge difference, mind you. Hello, look at
listen. I'm
there's
just saying, don't assign that to us. Don't just put straps just like that's the only thing we do. Like it's between the man, penis and then the plastic strap because that's not just what we do.
okay, so I actually feel like I'm one of God's chosen. You know why? Because I come from penetration. Jesus Christ. This is how I know I can't choose my sexuality, right? So for me, I I need to I like the big old girthy long thing. I feel like hitting my fibroid at this point because I'm like, there ain't no reason why I can't take this new
The
nigga dick.
fibroid.
Like the way I just gotta go to the doctor because I'm like, bitch, I could take some dick. Cannot take this last one. Like that I just anyways. Anyways, I say all of that to say I enjoy penetration.
Mhm.
So love you because you're so kind. But there is not at all a similarity between
I
some
don't think
fingers,
there isn't.
some fingers, and a dick with a pulse,
Here's the thing though.
especially a thick, veiny one.
For you,
Circumcised. I want circumcised.
sure. But given our track record and how we make people come, like same women to women make people come, that ain't just strap. That
Yeah,
is
yeah,
not
yeah.
the
No, yeah.
strap. That's not the strap.
Okay.
And I would never
I squirt with
compare.
you.
I would never compare. I know that is its own world and everything. And I know, listen, very sure that you love it. But I was just saying, hey, we're more than a plastic strap. Just like you as a bisexual, you want to be seen as more. We're way more than a plastic strap, Mandii. See past the strap and the awkward moment of having to pull it up, make jokes while you're waiting, and all
First
that. No one
off,
wants to do that.
I'm
you not know I
screaming.
have that same experience. Calm down.
I'm
Hello.
screaming.
We are one and
Screaming.
the same.
You get it. I just want us to be represented as more than a strap out there. Just our marketing is just
More than a
strap.
strap.
I'm more than a strap.
I'm more than a strap.
I really love that.
Support the
I'm more than a
campaign,
strap.
Mandii. We're more
I
than a
need y'all
strap.
to put that on a shirt.
You know?
It should. Shana, you got that?
I got that. Don't you
More than a
worry.
strap.
Here we
This
go.
was
Well,
so
on that
much
note,
fun. Oh my
yes.
God.
It is time to wrap up the show, but you know we would never leave you without giving shout outs to our faves. My shout out this week goes to London Trans Plus Pride, the largest Trans Plus Pride demonstration in the world. It's happening July 26th. So by the time this episode comes out, y'all still got time to fly out there. Go have a time. If you're already in London, make sure you go join their love, rage, and solidarity, especially in today's day and age. This needs to happen. So you can follow them on Instagram at London Trans Pride.
Cool. My shout out is to Queer Motherland, which was founded by Olive Okoro. Queer Motherland is an organization developed to provide resources on queer Africans and remind humanity that Africa has always been filled with a vibrant queer population. You can follow them on IG at Queer Motherland.
And my shout out this week is to my good friends and my community that I was able to build in New York. It is Susia NYC. They are a play group, play space, and community for everyone in terms of the way you view yourselves in relationship dynamics and sexuality. They're a community above all, and they decolonize your pleasure. So their focus is on decolonizing your body, your pleasure, what you enjoy, and creating spaces with enthusiastic yeses. So their focus is also on consent. They throw parties throughout New York. They also travel to Atlanta. And their Instagram is at Susia NYC. Shout out to Luis and Morgana. They are the couple that runs this community. And they were instrumental in me finding a space that allowed me to be my free self, liberated sexually, and then also just navigating and giving advice romantically. So Susia NYC, that's who I want to shout out this week.
Nice.
Amazing. And then for everybody who wants to follow and keep up with you and Wheezy, where can they best follow you and support you?
Oh, baby. Okay, so not sure when this drops, but wherever you purchase your books, we do also have the audio version if you want to listen to this rasp. You can go and purchase No Holes, HOLES, No Holes Barred, a dual manifesto of sexual exploration and power, wherever you get books. You can also listen to me every Monday on our podcast, Decisions. If you want a little bit more of an X-rated, R-rated experience in your ears, WHOREible Decisions has not left. It is just now behind a paywall. So for as little as $5 a month, you get an extra bonus episode every week. That's at patreon.com/WHOREible Decisions. We are also going on tour, so you can get that at nhbtour.com. And then for all things, just everything in life, I have my own podcast, Selective Ignorance, that drops every Tuesday. So there's a lot of me out there in the world. If you search Mandii with 2 I's B, anywhere you can find me, or at Full Court Pumps on all social platforms.
Yes.
Always love
Mandii,
your Twitter fights.
also that.
Good reason.
Yes, and.
That was a good
Yes,
one. Mandii.
and. But Mandii, this was so fun. We had a blast having you on here, and we appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us.
I hope that they don't mind that I fucking can talk, but I really had a good time talking with y'all today.
You
And
gotta
I'm
come
like,
back.
No. I'm not gonna lie. This is easy. The virtuals, it's when you got a computer to do all the shit. So
Okay.
knowing that y'all are on different time zones, I'm on a whole different time zone than both of y'all. If we can make this happen again, if your audience loves me, I'd love to come in and share with you guys my bisexual adventures.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. I was like, and we have it recorded. So that's the contract.
Yep,
We're
got
gonna
it.
get you to come back.
That's crazy. That's
All right.
crazy. Yeah.
We got you. Well, everybody else, thank you as always for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Take care.
Me again. Can we talk about things? I'm sorry that I'm